She lost her job for saving a life. But the next morning, the sky brought something she never imagined.
Rain fell hard on the cracked asphalt, washing the flickering reflection of the gas station sign into a shimmer of red and blue. Tanya Rivers, a 34-year-old black woman, worked the night shift alone. Her uniform was too big, her hands smelled like diesel, and the hum of the refrigerator was the only thing keeping her company. Every night was the same. She swept the floor, restocked the coolers, and watched the clock tick past midnight. Tanya had dreams once, studying nursing, raising her daughter in a better neighborhood, but life had other plans. Bills, debt, and a layoff during the pandemic pushed her here. At 2:17 a.m., she heard it. A screech of tires, then a metallic crash just outside the station. She froze for a second, then ran. The rain had turned the street into a mirror. A black luxury car had slammed into a light pole, smoke rising from the hood. The driver's side door was crushed. Tanya rushed forward, ignoring the shards of glass cutting through her shoes. Inside, a man was slumped over the wheel, blood trickling from his forehead. His designer watch glimmered in the broken light, an expensive timepiece that didn't belong in her world. "Sir? Sir, can you hear me?" Tanya yelled. He groaned weakly. She tried pulling the door, but it wouldn't budge. Flames began to lick from under the hood. "God, no," she whispered. She looked around. No one in sight. Then she saw the crowbar near the pump station, grabbed it, and swung it against the glass. Once, twice. On the third hit, it shattered. "Come on, I got you," she grunted, reaching in to pull him free. His blood smeared across her forearms. She dragged him across the pavement just as the car burst into flames behind them. They both fell onto the wet ground. Tanya coughed hard, chest heaving. The man lay unconscious, his breathing ragged. Sirens echoed in the distance. She whispered, "You're gonna make it. Just hold on." Hours later, at sunrise, the street was swarming with paramedics and police. Tanya gave her statement, trembling, her hair soaked and tangled. "Ma'am, you said you work here?" asked the officer. "Yes, I saw the crash. I couldn't just stand there." The officer nodded. "You probably saved his life." Tanya smiled faintly, exhausted. But by 8 a.m., when her manager arrived, the tone changed. "Are you out of your mind, Tanya?" barked Mr. Doyle, the store owner. "You left the store unattended for almost 30 minutes. There's protocol." She blinked. "There was a man burning alive. And that's not your business. We could have been robbed. Cameras show you ran out. Left the till open. Corporate's gonna have my head." Her jaw dropped. "You're firing me?" "For saving someone?" He sighed coldly. "I can't afford a liability right now." "Hand over your badge." Tanya stood frozen. The world tilted. "You serious?" "Dead serious," he said, turning away. She placed her badge on the counter quietly. Her hands still smelled of smoke. Tanya lived in a small 2-bedroom house at the edge of the city, peeling paint, a porch light that flickered. Her 10-year-old daughter, Maya, ran to the door as soon as she got home. "Mama, you okay? You smell like smoke." Tanya forced a smile. "Just a long night, baby." She set her bag down and sank onto the couch. Her back ached. She hadn't eaten since yesterday. Maya climbed beside her. "Did you help somebody again?" Tanya chuckled faintly. "Maybe I did." "But you look sad." Tanya hesitated. "Sometimes people don't understand when you do the right thing." Maya leaned her head against her. "Grandma said God always sees it." Tanya smiled, her eyes misty. "Yeah, maybe he does." Outside, thunder rumbled again. She didn't know that someone else had seen it too. Across town in a private hospital suite, Richard Langston, 48, heir to Langston Energy, woke up. His ribs were bandaged, and a deep cut ran across his brow. Where am I?" he mumbled. A nurse replied, "You're in Mercy General, Mr. Langston." "You were in a car accident." He frowned, trying to piece it together. The rain, the crash, and then her face. A woman's face in the rain. Brown skin, eyes full of determination, her arms dragging him from fire. Who pulled me out?" The nurse checked her clipboard. "A gas station worker named Tanya Rivers, I think." Richard sat upright despite the pain. "Did anyone contact her?" The nurse shook her head. "I don't believe so." He stared out the window, eyes narrowing. Then quietly, "Find her." The next day, Tanya went to the employment office, her last paycheck folded in her pocket. As she waited in line, she overheard whispers. "Isn't she the one who pulled that rich guy?" "Yeah, but she got fired for it." Crazy world. Tanya kept her head down. She didn't want pity, just work. The clerk glanced at her resume. "You've got retail experience but limited transportation and no college degree?" Tanya nodded. "I just need anything steady, please." He sighed. "I'll call if something opens up."
Outside, Tanya sat on the curb, watching buses pass. Her reflection in the rain puddle looked like a stranger. Back home, she tried to stay strong for Maya, helping with homework, cooking dinner, but her spirit was heavy. At night, she prayed quietly, "Lord, I did what was right. Why does it feel like I'm being punished for it?" The next morning, the sound shook the neighborhood. Two black helicopters roared over the rooftops, circling once before descending near Tanya's small front yard. Her neighbors rushed outside, pointing phones. Tanya burst out the door, shielding Maya behind her. "What in the—" The rotor wash blew her hair across her face. As the doors opened, men in suits stepped out, followed by Richard Langston, now dressed in a dark coat, bandaged forehead barely visible beneath his slicked hair. He smiled faintly. "Miss Rivers?" Tanya's jaw dropped. "You're the man from the crash?" He nodded. "The one you saved." Her heart pounded. "You didn't have to come here." "Yes, I did," he said gently. "I owe you my life." She blinked. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what anyone should." He smiled softly. "You'd be surprised how few people would." He gestured, and one of his aides stepped forward holding a folder. "Miss Rivers, I learned you lost your job after the accident. That's unacceptable." Her cheeks flushed. "That's not your problem, sir." "Maybe not," he said, "but gratitude is." He turned toward the second helicopter. "Come with me. I want to show you something." Tanya hesitated. "Sir, I can't just leave my daughter." Maya tugged her hand. "Mama, go see." Richard smiled at Maya. "She can come too." From the window of the helicopter, Tanya and Maya stared in awe. The city sprawled beneath them, steel towers, highways, rivers glinting like silver veins. "Wow," Maya whispered. Tanya held her close, still confused, still cautious. "Why are you doing this?" Richard looked out the opposite window, his voice quiet. "Because you reminded me what life's worth." He turned to face her. "I was driving home that night from a dinner meeting. My company was closing a deal worth millions, and I thought that was everything. But when I crashed and saw you pull me out, I realized I hadn't lived for anything real in years." Tanya swallowed hard, unsure what to say. He continued, "You lost your job because of me, but today I want to change that." As they landed, she saw it, a massive glass complex overlooking Lake Michigan. The sign read, "Langston Foundation for Human Hope." Inside the building, staff lined up to greet them. Richard led Tanya through a modern hallway filled with paintings of community heroes and social programs. "This place was built to honor people who make a difference," he said. "But I realized something. We've been writing checks, not changing lives. I need someone who understands people." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter of appointment. Community Relations Director. Her eyes widened. "Sir, I'm not qualified for that." He interrupted, smiling. "You're exactly qualified. You did more with one act of courage than most of us do with a lifetime of wealth." Tanya blinked back tears. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he said warmly. "And maybe you can teach the rest of us what humanity still means." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, yes, sir." Behind them, Maya looked up at her mother, beaming. Months later, Tanya walked through the same glass hall, but now in a sleek blouse, an ID badge swinging from her neck. She helped launch programs for low-income families, taught first aid in underfunded neighborhoods, and built a team of women who believed kindness still mattered. At the ribbon cutting of a new shelter, Richard stood beside her. The press cameras flashed as he announced, "This center is dedicated to all the everyday heroes who remind us compassion doesn't need permission." Tanya smiled, gripping the scissors, her hand trembling. Maya whispered, "See, Mama? Grandma was right. God saw it." Tanya laughed softly, eyes shimmering. "Yeah, baby. He did." As the ribbon fell, sunlight spilled across her face, golden, clean, endless. Sometimes, doing the right thing costs everything at first. But in the end, it reminds the world what real wealth looks like: humanity.